before me are great men and women who have served this country very faithfully, have sacrificed so that many may be protected, and as I'm listening, have made great sacrifices. If you can just clap for yourselves. Sometimes you just need to appreciate yourself and to love yourself. If others don't want to love you, please love yourself, appreciate yourself, clap for yourself. And even if they don't want to love and appreciate you, there is a woman here who is, and a mother who is willing to appreciate and to love you. It is very important that everyone knows that every human being that was brought here on this earth by our God had a purpose, and they are in the will of God. And sometimes we may not look like we really matter, but were we to be removed in this planet today, many people will be looking for us. And so sometimes they don't want to appreciate us when we are serving, but there is a God who appreciates you and the one who will care and reward you. That is why you are alive today, and there is no greater gift than when God has given you life. Because with life, all these things that you desire, you can still achieve them. But those who have gone, they may have lamented, and nothing will happen because they are not here with us. For God giving us the opportunity to see this day and to be in our service, in the service here on earth as ambassadors, because you are different. You are not even like the others. And I tell people, when God put me in this office, I was very glad because I asked to be here to serve as a pastor. And therefore, as Her Excellency, my business is not to sit there as an ornament or a monument to be worshipped. It is my duty and responsibility to serve, because that is why I was given this office by God, and it was by grace. I've just listened to our speakers who spoke just before me, and I really want to appreciate even those ones who have put a very productive engagement between you and them concerning the family values, and this I treasure very much. Myself and His Excellency, the Deputy President, who has sent me with his greetings. Have you received them? Have been married for 35 years. And God has blessed us with two fine young men. Our last born is 31 years. And so marriage works. If you can look at the other person, just encourage them. Marriage works. And by the way, even though we are working for that certificate, marriage does not work because of certificate. Marriage works because God is in the center of it. There are people who have those certificates and they are separated. There are those who have those certificates and they have divorced. There are those ones of us who have that certificate and we are lasting very long. And therefore, when I look at all of you and the expectations that maybe you came having of this second lady, what is she up to? I'm only up to good. The reason why that certificate may be very important is to secure your family, to secure your wife, and to secure your children. I will tell you for free because I'm a woman. When my husband had not given me this certificate, I did not believe I was his wife. And of course, I would nag him until he gave me the certificate. So if you want peace with your loved one, you had better give them that certificate. Sometimes that certificate means so much to a woman that you will never know what is in her mind. Actually, it settles a woman to have that certificate. So why not just give them so that you remove the nagging? Because you have a lot of work to do. Rather than come home and you have a big business with your wife every day. I want to be married, and she's married, and she has your children. And still, she still feels she's not married. Because that secures the family. And the woman is wired to the security of her children and the security of their future. And so she's always thinking and thinking. And sometimes they overthink for no reason. And they have been told why they shouldn't create another image of another girl. I remember sometimes there was this woman in the rural, they always make fun of us, of course. So men were talking and I was listening to them, and there was something they were saying chaplain. They forgot I was a woman and the men were speaking. And they were saying, you know, there was this woman who was from the rural place. And then, of course, she had a quarrel with the husband. And the quarrel was over another woman who was answering the phone of the husband. And this woman kept repeating the same thing. Mteja hapatikani. And the woman will ask, wewe ni nani? Unachukua simu ya bwana yangu, unamuita mteja ukiwa nani? And this woman would continue to say the same thing. Hata anamuuliza, na wewe mjinga namna gani? Hata mzee alikuona namna gani? Unashinda ukiniambia mteja apatikani, huwezi kusema kitu ingine? And so this woman continued to quarrel with the other woman until the husband, of course, came and picked the phone. Amwambia, hata kama unataka kutafuta mwanamke, si utafute mwanamke ambaye ako na akili. So sometimes we can create phantoms which don't exist. I'm also in acknowledgement that in our police service, there are also women who are married to people who are not police. So you have men and you have women. So when we are telling them, woman, you wait for the police officer to come, do this. What with the male officer, when the police officer comes, what is he supposed to do? Also remove the jacket and talk about love and something? I didn't hear about that. So I know that the Bible says this. And now, these three things remain. That is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. And now, these three remain. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Anything that is outside love, it is a waste of time. Because love, though for those ones of us who know, love is God. So if God is not in your marriage, you are wasting your time. You can have certificates, you can have everything, you can have houses, but you'll never be satisfied if love is not there. And the only love that God wants before I go to the speech, because it is important that we understand where we are going with these family values and marriage. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. We are reading from 1 Corinthians from verse 4 to 13. It says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, when is in part disappears. It says, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now, we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then shall I know fully, even as I am fully known. And that is what I read for you. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest is love. We have been taught about love. And this patience has to be there. Sometimes you have to be patient. I know some of us who have not been married to officers may not know. Myself, I was married to an administration officer, a DO then. And we left university, we got married. The following year, he was given to go to Gachagua. I was 6 months pregnant. I was left in Nairobi. He went to Gachagua. And I had to live by myself. So sometimes when we speak and without understanding, you may think it is very easy. I am left in Nairobi. He is earning, I think, 4,800. I was earning 6,000. Then we have to have 2 homes. And the little that we have now, we have to divide, because now he has his own expenditure, I have my own expenditure, and here I'm expecting his child. I have to go to maternity, I have to go to all those things. And sometimes it can be very challenging. Then I got lucky. I was taken to Nyeri because I was working with a bank. When they realized my husband was on that Kirinyaga side, they took me to Nyeri. When we arrived there, before we could get our child, he was transferred to Nairobi. So when you hear about these transfers, it's a crisis. Now I'm left, I'm almost giving birth. I am in Nyeri, now he's gone back to Nairobi. And he's busy. But I thank God he would find time to come home. In the evenings, he would drive from Nairobi, and he arrives at midnight. Before he even sits down, the DC calls him. Then he's told to go back. So by morning, he's still not with me. I'm left there by myself. So the life that you are living is a sacrifice. And we had to make things do by supplementing what we were getting because it was very little. And here was a baby coming with whatever we had. And that's why you hear in my story, I say we were making crisps. He would go buy potatoes, bring, I would make crisps, and he would go and sell. Because that time I could not move. So he would go and sell. And sometimes after we got the baby and I was still working in the bank, I'll wake up very early in the morning. At 5, I'll go to Marigiti, buy some greens, and God had given me favor. I was supplying Muthaiga Golf Club. I'll go there with a taxi, take it, come back where we were living in government quarters at Nairobi West, wash, get into my suit, and I go to the bank. Nobody would know what I had done. So we have to devise ways of making good of the bad situation. And we continued. We were doing a side business, and it grew to what became now the Rideau Furniture Mart, the Gadi and Dorcas Furniture Mart. That is how they used to do it. And even though he was an officer, he will come and help me to remove some of those chairs, you know, the side of the road furniture shops. If you go to around Bombers there, we used to have, and where Galeria is, we used to have another branch there. And you'd come and sometimes help me to remove them. And it was while we were there, one of the MDs of Uchumi came and he said he wanted partnership with us. And that's where we started rising. Because he gave us 6 branches to go and put furniture. He took a circle loan, and I also took a loan. And we were able to stock. And for the next few years, we were being able to make from 3 million profit a month. So when people are asking where did they get the money, they need to go and trace. They can go to the bank, check, and see that things happened not suddenly, but slowly by slowly and with God's blessing. And so we must be able to collaborate and partner with our wives so that some of these things, they can do one thing and you can do another. And it is good to invest together with your wife. The best company, and that is what my husband told me, the best company is the company of the husband and the wife. In fact, we used to have a merry-go-round with him. When we wanted to, we made some provisions where we would go out on Wednesday. So we used to contribute for that day. I would give my 10,000 and he would give his 10,000 every month. And we would keep it for going out with the children. So you must set aside some time that you make it sacred for your family. Because let me tell you, this work, you will work and work. Even now I'm working. I'm 58 years. I'm still working. And I'm waking up very early. Like today I was told I was going to flag off a marathon at 7. So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. Because I needed to go there, then go back, wash, because I couldn't go like this. So I had to wear a tracksuit, go there, finish, go back, like that. Work will never finish. But be devoted and committed to the cause and the calling God called you. Because the work you do is not work, it's actually a calling. Just like I am here, you have a calling. To be there, out there, carrying bodies and all that, it's like a pastor. We are called in the middle of the night. I don't know who has died. Then we have to rush there. These people are afraid of the bodies. And even if I'm afraid, I have to go see the body and make arrangements so that the body is taken and I relieve the pain and the grief of the people I minister to. Right now, I may not be doing it, but I still call them and make sure that I'm comforting them. I have not stopped ministry. If you come to on Sunday, I will still collect your offering. Because I've been doing it since when I was an usher first. But now I've been in ministry for 22 years. This is the 23rd. But I committed myself to do the right thing. And that would not, the very fact that I've been elevated does not make me abscond the responsibility I was given by God. It was God who has lifted me from nothing to here. And therefore, I must serve him in his house. And you know God is a father. And because we are fathers and we are mothers, God calls us to a family. And a family is the basic unit of God. God did not think of anything else. After he had created everything, the heaven, the earth, the stars, the moon, the whatever, he was not pleased with all those things he was doing. He went and formed his own image, his own likeness. And on top of that, he put spirit in that image and that likeness. And if you can look at the person next to you, that is God. So, it is a truth. Just go to Psalms 82, verse 6, if you think that is not correct. So if you can look at the other person and call them God, you are right. Very few people have seen God. But you will see God in the person next to you. You will see God in your wife. You will see God in your husband. If you can be able to relate how you reverence God and use that relationship, I can tell you we are going to have wonderful families. And that's why I'm very passionate about what I am doing. I believe in family. When His Excellency, the Deputy President, in our inauguration talked, he said the best he knows is family. Number 2, family. Number 3, family. Because when he was in trouble, it was only the family that was there. I'm the only, and the 2 sons could pick his phone and talk about him because nobody wanted to hear about him because people were calling him names. I am sure it is the same for you. People will call you all the names, but when you go home, you find comfort. You find people who value you. You find people who think you are king or a queen. And that is why we must propagate that family and make it even better. Because at the end of the day, when all is done with the service and you retire, you'll be served with a letter. And it will be sending you straight to your family where you came from. And so we had better start taking care and cultivating good families. Do not make your husband your enemy. He's not your enemy. Sometimes, yes, they are, but we have all fallen short of God's glory. All of us, even you, who is pointing to the other one. And also for your wife, love her enough and be honorable in the things you do for her. You don't want people talking about your wife in a derogatory way. Your work is to protect, to provide, and to do what else? And to pray. If only as chaplains, as men, as fathers, as mothers, we can be able to rise up above all those things. You know, sometimes when I err, it is not because it's Pastor Dorcas. It is the thoughts in me. So there is a demon that sometimes is working in a man or a woman. Why don't we deal with the demon instead of the woman or the man? And you will find you will desire to pray for your husband. You will desire to pray for your wife. I knew my husband would come that late because he loved me. Then he was moved from Nairobi to Navajo. And he still would drive. That time he had a pickup. He will drive from there and arrive at around 2 a.m. And he will leave in the morning again just to come and see us. And that is a sacrifice a husband and a wife ought to give to one another. So he would come, and perhaps many people, they just think of maybe sex is all everything. It is not. He will come at 1 and he's very tired. I give him time to have even 2 hours to sleep. Because he came, he has come, he has seen his children, he has seen me, and that is why he came. And I'm sure even the women who are working, sometimes they'll come very tired, emotionally drained, frustrated, and not knowing what to do. And therefore, our understanding and tolerance ought to help us. Now you can see these policemen. You see how there's something falling. Don't worry. We are safe here. But I can see you are alert. I'm married to one, so I know every time you want to go behind here and do something, you don't have to. The Lord is in control. I just felt I needed to encourage us in the place of the family line. I've been there. I am still there. Because immediately now he left administration, he's in politics. The difference is the same. And let me tell you, women and men, I work with people, I work with a bank. And those are the challenges that you are going to find in marriage. I rose to senior management. And I had to go and meet men in hotels. And sometimes he too was working that time also. He's working and he has an appointment. And sometimes we meet in a hotel. I'm sitting in a table there with a man, and he's sitting on another table with a woman. And unless you trust one another, it is going to be very difficult. You have to contain your jealousy. And because we had an understanding, there is no way you can control your husband or you can control your wife. If they want to move, they will move. So the best thing for you to settle and to be to have peace is to trust your husband, is to trust your wife. And that home will be the best home. And those of you who want to get these certificates, the next thing you must know, when you met, the children were not there. Is that true? The children were not there. And one day, like now, you go back to a second honeymoon. They are not with us. They are in their homes. You call them, they tell you, we are busy. Oh, you know, I had a date. Oh, now they are not with us. They are in their homes and they are trying to fight their bearing to be able to bring up their own families. And it is okay. So learn to love one another and to tolerate and to engage one another. Because once the children are gone, you will go back to that woman and that man. They come in and they say, we are heading out. Always heading out, always heading out. They come in a few minutes, hi mom, hi dad. Then you discuss whatever you are discussing, we are heading out, and that's it. So, in life, you will find it begins with a family, stresses of a family, because I remember I saw women who have come with young children. I really acknowledge and love what you are doing. Never be ashamed. Never be ashamed of having your children. Let them make the noise they can. They are our children, and they are doing good. And they are doing what they are supposed to do. And seeing you even breastfeeding here, it tells me this service is a good service. Those children are precious to us. And that lady decided, I'll bring even my child to be able to see, to hear, even though it is inconveniencing. And you can see she keeps coming in, going out, and the child is busy, energized. I haven't seen even another man or a woman trying to help her. And that is what we say, parenthood is not easy. And a mother is something, and this is what I've been talking about. We need to change the way we look at things. Let's not read books. Let's go by the divine order. It is a mother who can understand a child who speaks not. The language of love is given by a mother, and she understands what the child says, even without saying anything. And sometimes to understand that child and to be with them, you have seen that lady has been going out, I don't know, the 20th time. I've been counting. There comes the child again. Wait till you see the mother come. So by evening, ladies and gentlemen, that mother with a bundle of joy that is running up and down, bouncing up and down, will be so tired, not be in the shape. But you are the cause of the problem anyway. Just love her as you love your child. And therefore, let me go back to my speech because they had written. I am delighted to be with you during this inaugural marital and family value counseling session with our police officers here in Kenya. Thank you to all police chaplains and commanders for making this event possible, and the management of Kenya Police, Kenya School of Government for this beautiful venue. It is said that a journey of 1,000 steps starts with one step. And here we are. On the first step towards dignifying the families of our police service through marital counseling, uniformed matrimony, and championing for the family values. That is what I stand for. Family values, so that even the police, they still have that family value and dignity they need. And that is why you see I am passionate about what I am doing, because I want one day you also feel dignified with your family and seeing your family thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, today, Kenya boasts of a population of more than 100,000 in the service. Hundreds of you have formalized your weddings, but others have not. As leaders in our different capacities, we must know that strong and stable families resort to a productive and prosperous nation. This includes the police officers who contribute immensely to the security of our people, wildlife, correctional facilities, border, and other resources. It is in line with the crucial role that the police service plays in our country that I held a meeting with the Inspector General of Police to discuss a vision I have for the service. It is my desire to encourage those who are in the police service to formalize their weddings and go through marital counseling and establish a strong and stable families. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are aware, police work creates unique marital challenges. Working in different far-flung and risky locations results to stressful relationship in marriages. In addition, the long and unconventional hours and schedules for the work create an imbalance between work and family, straining the officer and his spouse. The ease in access to rifles and weapons has made our officers hit the headlines following murders, deaths, and suicide cases. It saddens me when our security men commit murders, suicides, homicides, and love triangle-related deaths within their relationship and family. This is part of the reason why we have organized for a day of marital and family value counseling to help equip our officers with knowledge and life coping skills that are necessary in addressing these challenges. We must create a conducive environment of balanced families in the police service. Ladies and gentlemen, the marriage certificate is also an important document, especially when some pay the ultimate price during your work in service. I urge all of you to be ambassadors of this program and encourage other officers across ranks to solemnize their weddings. The Bible in Amos chapter 3 asks, do two work together unless they have agreed to do so? You cannot work together. And I think sometimes when we go before God and make a vow and bring him inside our marriage, we are able to walk and engage in the right way with the true love. We must also bring to an end the anguish spouses and children of the deceased police officers go through in trying to access his benefits and inheritance. The marriage certificate will be the safety net to our loved ones in case of the unfortunate thing, if it was to happen, and we are not praying that it happens. In conclusion, our vision includes taking the police couples through marital counseling, holding a mass uniform wedding, the exchange of rings, beautiful decor, cutting of the cake, and lots of celebration. I have always attended the police weddings, and I love when you are in uniform and those swords, when they close, it is such a beautiful sight. You can imagine when it is for many, it will be looking beautiful in uniform. And I think even the heavens will be watching and celebrating. And I can tell you what I am doing, I'm not doing only as a spouse of the deputy president. It is something that has been put in my work plan, and it has been discussed as part of my work in that office. And I'm praying and hoping we are going to put a date where the presidency will be there. We must strengthen the social fabric of the police service in Kenya, and I look forward to attending your beautiful weddings. May God bless you, and bless the Republic of Kenya. Are you ready for the wedding? Yes. I want you to go prepare. I will pray, and you go also pray. That day, they will also come to witness. They are also fathers. Yeah. and they have families. And when they come, I am very sure.
Haya.
Yes guys, how are you?
Sema jina.
Niko na wadaduzi hapa.
Maybe ungeambia channel yenye unafanyia.
Sisi tunafanya, mimi na sisi yeti nafanya ni yangu. Kenya Digital News, the biggest brand, the only leading media station in 254, Kenya Digital News.
Haya na
sasa mimi ndo kubwa. News. Mkubwa wa news zote ziko kwa platform. Ziko Kenya mzima. Amsaradinda. Mtembei TV. 254 Kenya nzima. We are the one to say.
Okay.
Stephanie TV. Subscribe kwa channel yangu na wapenda.
Okay.
And behind the camera kwa Source TV.
Asante.
Subscribe kwa na nyesheo.